I'm so excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today, and that is flow over force and how to reclaim your focus, your confidence with ADHD. For years, I thought my struggle with energy and focus had to do with me being lazy and undisciplined. Until I discovered I had ADHD later in life. I was around 37. I had just had my third baby. Suddenly, all of the forgotten assignments, my inability to make it places on time, forgetting appointments, and burnout cycles, it was all finally starting to make sense. My name is Misty, and I have been coaching women on energy and confidence since 2015. I am the host of the Queen Rising podcast, and I'm also a life path astrology reader. Today, I want to share with you how working with your own energy instead of forcing yourself to fit inside of someone else's box can help you transform your energy, your focus, and your confidence. So, even though I was never diagnosed with ADHD early, there were signs. So, in the first grade, I once found an old report card, and my first grade teacher wrote to my parents that Misty was so great to have in class. However, she was always daydreaming out the window and not paying attention in class. In high school, to combat against my time management or lack thereof time management, I had set the clock in my car 10 or 15 minutes ahead of time so that at least if I thought I was on time, I was actually 10 minutes early. Or if I was 10 minutes late, I was actually be on time. Until that didn't work either. So at age 37, I just had my third baby. I was about a year postpartum. I was running a business. I was homeschooling my two older children while also being married, running a household. And I got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. My focus was scattered. I could no longer handle the things that I used to handle with ease. My stress levels, I just had way too much on my plate, and for whatever reason, I felt like I don't know why all of a sudden I can't handle all the things that I'm used to handling. I also got to a point where I was no longer willing to wear this mask of being perfect and trying my best to run an Instagram worthy, Pinterest worthy life and household. But I learned how to honor my own energy cycles, resting when I needed to rest, no longer needing to be in the 5 a.m. club because that's what other people deem successful. I learned to go with my hyper focus. I learned how to utilize my super powers of ADHD, like hyper focus and daydreaming, and utilize my natural given talents. And the result has been more aligned energy and more confidence to thrive instead of just in survival mode. So, the first thing I want to talk about today is learning how to honor your own energy cycles. Those of us with ADHD brains, we tend to go from hyper focus to burnout. And instead of fighting against it, why don't you learn how to work with it? So, allowing yourself to hyper focus on what you want to hyper focus on, getting things done, that is a superpower of those of us who have ADHD. We're able to hone in on one particular thing or one particular topic, and whether it be research or you just being able to just pump out things and get things done, just go with that. But then giving yourself adequate rest times in between. So, learning how to track your own energy and understanding, when do I have the most energy? When do I not have the most energy? And how can you align your day so that you're able to get more done in those hyper focus windows? So, the second point is I want you to redefine productivity and success for you, because success doesn't look the same for all of us. We have different values, we have different priorities, and figuring out what that looks like for you. What is your priority? What are the things that you value? Traditional success rewards people who can do the same thing every day, who can go to work 8 hours a day, get up at the same time every day, but likely that's not you. Traditional success has us hustling and grinding with little to no time for ourselves, our hobbies, the things that we want to do. And that is a burnout waiting to happen for someone with ADHD. Someone with ADHD thrives in doing what you want to do instead of what you have to do. So when you can learn how to honor your own self, your own hobbies, your own interests, and how to build that into your day, you will be more successful and you'll be more productive and you'll be a happier human. And I learned that if you are a woman specifically with ADHD, you don't even have to have ADHD for this to apply. But as a woman, we don't have the same hormonal cycles that men do. So our 9 to 5 world was built for men and by men who have a 24-hour cycle. They have a 24-hour hormonal cycle, meaning every 24 hours, their hormones cycle. They're the same thing, same every single day, mostly. However, women live on a 28-day cycle. Our hormones cycle in 28 days, not 24 hours. So we are not the same every single day. And this is why it is so important to learn how to track your energy and not only know what times of day you have the most energy, but also track your cycle in the course of the month, because some days you're going to have more energy and some days you're going to have lower energy, and giving yourself permission to rest when you need to rest. So, one thing that has really transformed how I'm working and how I'm being productive is every day I ask myself, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to focus on? Instead of focusing on what you have to do, why don't you try focusing on what you want to yourself to be motivated by what you want to do? And lastly, I want to talk about reclaiming your confidence through alignment. So, confidence is not something you have, it's something that you build. And the way to build confidence is to keep promises you made to yourself. And the more you can keep your own promises to yourself, this will help you build momentum and build confidence in yourself. And you can start small. Again, going back to what fuels your energy and understanding what drains your energy, and how can you do more of the things that fuel your energy and do less of the things that drain your energy. ADHD isn't about being broken. It's just a different rhythm. It's about flowing over forcing. And when you can learn how to flow with your own energy, you will build sustainable focus, less burnout, and more confidence. You'll be able to align your habits with the life you actually want instead of a life that other people want for you. Here's the truth: you don't need more willpower, you need more alignment. If you would like to take this deeper, I do have a three-part series. It's called the Burnout Breakthrough Method. So I have been through burnout a couple different times, and this is a process that I built on how to break yourself out of this burnout cycle that you've been through. So we talk about sacred self-care, how to understand your own energy, and how to fill up your own tank. We also talk about motivating yourself through your moon sign, because your moon sign is one, how you nurture yourself emotionally, but it's also has to do with your soul and your soul's motivation, and it's going to be different for everybody. So this is where I bring astrology into it, and we look at your natal birth chart and understand how you are wired and what motivates. And in the third part, we talk about feminine flow and how to start flowing through life instead of forcing different ways of working, different ways of making money that's not necessarily focused on forcing you into a mold, but how can you flow? So that is a three-part series. There's videos as well as worksheets to help you understand your own blueprint, your own burnout breakthrough method. And if you love more of this, I would love to have you come over to the Queen Rising podcast. We are on Apple Podcasts as well as YouTube, and you can find my YouTube channel at Misty Anderson. So I would love to invite you in because I talk about astrology, I talk about feminine embodiment, as well as building your confidence.